Well, hey everybody, how's it going today? I hope you're all doing really good. Yeah, I'm working on this still. I finished it yesterday and got the mods that the owner wanted all installed, and I cleaned the frets up as good as I could, and it's still got some buzzes and lisps and little kind of speech impediments here and there on the fretboard. So I contacted the owner and was just telling him about it, and these frets are just so low. They're pretty much down to their last day. So he told me that he paid somebody to refret this guitar, and they were supposed to put tall frets in it, and this is what they sent back to him. It looks like they sanded and filed this way, in this direction. There's actually sand and scratches and file marks all through the fretboard, every fret going cross grain here. That's not good. I really hate to see people charge people for this kind of stuff when they don't know what they're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, do it to your own guitars. Don't charge somebody money and send stuff back like this. It is kind of irritating. Okay, that's not what the video's about though. So anyway, we're going to pull the strings off, take the neck off so it's easy to work on, and we're going to pull the fret wire out of this right now. Okay, I remember he told me this was an MJT body, relic and everything. I couldn't remember, that's all, in the previous video, so there it is, stamped right in the neck pocket. Okay, well, I got one pulled out over here. These are so low, it's really even hard to get my fret pulling pliers under it and start them. I usually heat these with a soldering iron too, but I usually try one fret, pull it out, and see how it comes out. And these are coming out real easy. I don't think these were ever glued in. Now, there is a way to tell. You can pull the fret wire out and look at the barbs and look at the tang. I don't see any glue there, but it doesn't mean they didn't put a spot here and there. But the main thing is we want to get this to come out clean. Somebody could have refretted it. It looks like a lot of chip out and stuff going on here. The fret wire is going to cover that, but maple usually doesn't do that. So maybe the guy did put frets in it and just made the mistake of not having the neck straight when he was dressing them off. Because if that happens, you can lose a lot of height in your fret wire. So, you got to keep chasing the stuff. I don't know. These could be the original ones. I really don't know. And it really don't matter. So, basically, all you got to do... Now, I made these pliers myself. You can buy them, too. The main thing is you got to have it... You can see mine getting worn out and kind of misaligned, but they still work. Now, I filed this out on the inside, okay? So that way you have a ramp, kind of. It's nice to have this flat, but mine are kind of rounded, and I've rounded off all the corners in case I have to lift or pry, which I definitely don't like doing, but sometimes you have to get them started. So, like I said, you can make these, you can buy them. They're really not a ton of money. I've threatened to buy some a bunch of times, but these just work good for me. I'm used to them, so I'm not going to change. The main thing is to try to get them out clean and keep some... I always hold a little bit of down pressure here, just to keep some pressure on the wood, so when you are lifting these out, it doesn't pull the wood up. You have the the pliers are actually holding the wood down, okay? So as you can see, I just start them on the end. I keep them right under there, and I just kind of slide it towards me, and just keep taking a bite out of it every time. And they should come out pretty easy. I mean, I've had some that didn't come out so easy. So again, I'm going to start right on the edge, take one bite. Now my pliers are under there already, see that? So I'm just going to set in maybe 1/8 of an inch at a time, 1/4 of an inch maybe. Now don't go too far. You want to just work your way across. Keep your pliers under that crown and the fret, okay? Now that one, oh, that's so low, I don't know if I can get a hold of it here. Alright, I got it, but it's really the hardest part of this job is dealing with frets that are worn or filed down so low. I mean, these are almost fret markers, not frets at this point, so you know, like I said, it's usually not a really labor-intensive job to do this. Now, I do heat these up with a soldering iron a lot of times, especially if they're glued. If they're not, they're going to come out pretty easy anyway. I've seen people put solder on the fret, heat it up, and melt solder all the way across it. I don't get it, but I mean, I guess if anything, it'll tell you the fret's hot enough to melt solder. And obviously that's going to melt the glue, but you don't need to do that, honestly. I don't get it. That's just my opinion. It's an extra step that I'm not going to take. And time consuming. And also, solder's not that cheap, so I'm not going to waste solder on that stuff when I don't need to. I have no problem with people that do it, like I said. Nothing wrong with it. If that's how you like to remove your fret wire, that's up to you. I'm just kind of going through the motions of how I do this, that's all, and thought I'd share that with you. We're going to put some medium back in this, which is pretty close to what's in here, I think. It might be a little wider. It's definitely going to be taller because this stuff's been filed right down to a paper-thin fret marker, basically. I was really shocked that it played and I could actually fret every note all the way up. I had to do a little work to get it so it would do that, but like I said, the frets they're just so low. There's no material left to work with, so I can't get all the little buzzes and lisps and all that kind of stuff out of it. And, you know, that's frustrating. I really don't want to send a guitar back that plays like crap that I just worked on, and I'm trying to cover up somebody's mistakes, you know. It's tough. And, you know, I don't want to just tell people, you know, hey, get your wallet out and you need to buy new frets. But, you know, if they didn't need it, we wouldn't be doing this. I'm all for that myself. I'm trying not to do a lot of fret work if I can help it. My hands just don't like doing it anymore. So, you know, once in a while, once a month or something, I'm good with it. But it's not something I'd want to do 5 days a week, I can tell you that. Or even 2 days a week. Okay, we're into the last one here. So them come out pretty clean. The nice thing is we're going to be able to clean up all these scratch marks. Now you can really see them. Can you see that? I mean, that's what they did. The whole fretboard. Really a shame. But that's okay. Because I know somebody that can straighten that out. Alright, so what we're going to do now is get some sandpaper. I don't know, I might use a sand and sponge. I do that sometimes, and I just want to clean this up. Now, when you first pull that wire out, you can see that that wood's kind of raised on each side of the fret slot. You can see a little chip right here. So you really need to be careful. If you see any chips like that, you want to glue them down right now. And when you sand this, the first few swipes you take across here, you got to be very easy and just knock that ridge down on each side of the tang very subtly. Once that's knocked down, you're pretty much safe to go. But if you took some like heavy grit sandpaper and went on that right now, using quite a bit of pressure, or really you wouldn't take a lot of pressure, you would start chipping out around the fret slots. Okay, I'm going to just start with some sandpaper here, not super heavy grit. It's kind of worn a little bit too, which is good. Now, as you can see, I'm not doing too much here. Very light pressure to get started. Once I get those little ridges knocked down beside the fret slots, then you can start putting some more pressure on, okay? You can kind of feel them hang up on the sandpaper as well, like that, kind of digs in. Alright, we're going to pick the pace up a little bit here now. I'm going to clean this up down here. Now, that doesn't look like it's factory, but it could be. There's definitely some barb marks there. I think we'll be okay with it though. Like I said, I'm just trying to get these sanding scratches out of this fretboard so it looks nice again, I guess. Again, you know, it's one of those things. When he hands this guitar to somebody and says, here, check out this guitar, play it, and then tells them that, oh yeah, I had this guy in Maine do it, and people look at that and think that I, you know, sanded it this way. That's tough, you know. So I am thankful that the owner wants to do this the right way and fix it right. You know, and like I told him, you'll probably never have to refret this again, depending on how much you play, but this should last him a long time. And this is not his only guitar. He owns multiple guitars, so yeah, now let's just kind of wipe this off and see what we're looking at here. Okay, well, much better. I honestly think somebody did refret this. Look at the chips around those, and that's not from me either. Okay, so we got that scuff down nice and smooth. Feels pretty good. What we're going to do next is put some sealer on it. This is Thompson's water seal. I use this on decks and stuff. And it's not a glossy finish or anything like that, which that's what this neck had originally. But this will at least seal up some of the bare wood and kind of protect it. So I'll do a couple coats of it real quick. And it will also help me see what I got to deal with for scratches and kind of go from there and see if that's, you know, going to be okay. It feels smooth. If there's any real bad dings or divots in it, this will help kind of show it. Where it's a relic guitar, it's really not a big deal as long as it feels good and it's smooth. Alright, let's put a coat on. You should wear gloves when you do this, I might add. I'm not going to, but the stuff soaks into your skin and it's not good for you. Okay, don't do what I do. Alright, so the reason I'm doing this now is because I haven't cleaned out the fret slots or anything yet, and this will, you know, kind of go in there, but I'm going to clean them out anyway, so Now, as you can see, that's kind of a nice, kind of almost factory look, you know. It's not going to dry shiny like that. It'll be kind of like a satin sort of finish when it's fully dried. And so now let's take a look at it. We got some chip out. This has definitely been refretted. I can see that just by the amount of barbs here. So, couple pretty good scratches and maybe some sort of residual glue or something there. Got some chips here. Yeah, you can see all the barb marks in there. It's definitely been refretted. So, you know, we're going to fill some of these in after I put the frets in. I usually put some super glue beside that, and then I'll razor blade up to it. You could fill them now, too. You can make a little dam with a piece of tape and put some glue in there. Gel would probably be my choice there, just because it's heavier, and it won't just, you know, run down and fill the slot. Even if it does, you know, you're going to clean that out anyway. Okay, so I'm going to wipe that off and put another coat on. Okay, now that's what it looks like after I wiped it with a dry cloth. So, you know, it's not a super shiny finish, but it definitely shows the wood grain again. Some nice striping in this neck, really, and on the back as well. So one more coat of that, and we'll be good to go. Some pretty substantial chip out there. So whoever yanked them out the first time didn't take their time, I guess. But, you know, and even if you do, that can happen. It's just part of the gig. All right, let's put another coat on. Okay, let's get another coat of it on. Again, this is a sealer. It's made for wood. It's made for decks and stuff like that, but I've used this on some repair work in the past, you know, where finish may have been missing. It's also kind of like a way to tint things a little bit, give them a, you know, an older look, so it will kind of match what the headstock's doing here. I don't know, folks, it's the little things, but, you know, give this a shot if you guys have never used this, but it works really well, at least in my opinion. Now, I would like to talk about heat and fret wire up again just for a second. Okay, so as you guys noticed, I didn't heat the fret wire up when I pulled it out. It wasn't glued in, so I really didn't need to heat it up. Now, here's the thing about heating that fret wire up. When you heat that fret wire up, it's going to expand in that fret slot, okay? That's really not optimum. So, you know, that's why I don't do the solder thing. I don't heat them up that much when I do. And the only time I do heat them is if they're glued. And the reason I do that is because the barbs will have glue on them hooked to the sides of the wood in the fret slot. And when you pull that out, it's going to rip some of that wood with it. You keep doing that, and then pretty soon you're going to have to go to a wider tang fret, because the fret slot's going to just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it will chip out on each side of it. So, you know, if you don't have to heat them and they're coming out nice, I honestly recommend not heating them up. And for that reason, you'll have less chance of pulling wood out with it if they're not glued in. So, you know, that's just my opinion on it. You guys can take that for what it is, but, you know, science doesn't lie. At least I know when you heat stuff up, it grows and gets bigger and expands. So if that fret wire is hot, it's going to be tight in the fret slot. And then when you pull it out, I think you have more of a chance of taking some wood with it. Now that's looking pretty good now. I can see some some flame again in the fretboard. Really cool. Definitely some real playwear here, and I'm going to leave that. And that's another thing. When you put this sealer on, it will kind of enhance this stuff. So if you do have a guitar that you're relicking, and you do a bunch of, sand and marks and do your thing, you put that water sealer on there, and it will enhance it and, kind of bring them to life. So there's that too. I think I'm going to do a third coat here, just because that really absorbed that in quite nice. Okie doke, here we go. This is the third and final coat. And again, this doesn't dry like lacquer or anything like that. It's just it's kind of like a penetrating oil, and it does dry, but it really is just hard to notice that it's even there. It just kind of does its thing, and you don't feel any sort of, orange peel effect on it or anything like that. It's just basically an oil, but it does have some sort of sealer involved. So there, that'll be the third coat, and I'm just going to let that dry. I'm not going to wipe that off at all. When I get ready to, there'll be plenty of wiping to to do as we clean the fret slots out and go through all that procedure. So we're going to let that dry just like that for now. Well, thank you for watching. I really appreciate that, folks. This is what it looks like after it's been sitting for about an hour or so. A bit of a shine like it had when it was new, and it matches the headstock nice again. Looks good. Everything's flat. We'll fix the chips, put some new frets in it. I just ordered some, so usually takes about 2 or 3 days. The company I get them from is really fast, so it won't be long, and we'll shoot a video on the fret installation as well, and should be in good shape. Once I get those installed, this guitar will be really, really fun to play. It's a nice sounding guitar, and it's got a nice comfortable weight to it, and the neck feels good in your hand too. It's got a nice profile. Just needs some new frets, so this is going to really wake this guitar up a ton. Okay, thanks again. We'll see you real soon. Be good. Okie doke.